Hello, I'm Sam from Cultaholic, and I'm here with a quick news update because Jack has gone back to the zoo because he just bloody loves it, doesn't he? Loves the zoo. Anyway, he's stuck with me today. Here we go. Now, to start things off, we've got some pretty upsetting news coming out of an NXT house show in St. Petersburg, Florida. Apparently, while Kairi Sane was wrestling her match against Rhea Ripley, she was subjected to some racially charged, abusive comments from the crowd. A number of tweets from inside the venue have confirmed that certain members of the St. Petersburg audience were chanting things such as "Happy Ending" and "Remember Pearl Harbor" at the Japanese Star. Now, it's just disgusting, really. You can't be going on like that in 2018. Wrestling is, and it has become, such an inclusive community and such a close-knit inclusive community. And there's no place in wrestling anymore for racism, for homophobia, for sexism, nothing like that should be happening at a show in 2018. It's disgusting. And I, for one, hope that there was at least some sort of action taken by security against these people in the crowd, but going off the tone of the tweets from people inside the venue, it just appears that nothing was really done about it, it's just very, very upsetting. Kairi herself took to Twitter to respond to all of this by posting a picture of children of all different races holding hands around a globe. In other news, there is an interesting tidbit doing the rounds, courtesy of Dave Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer newsletter, and it's in relation to WWE's wellness policy. WWE implemented the wellness policy in order to safeguard any evidence of substance abuse and all drug testing in relation to WWE in-ring talent. After the policy had been implemented, WWE did pledge publicly that it would publicly out anybody that was in violation of the wellness policy. Meltzer has reported, however, that NXT talent are not subject to having their names placed out there publicly if they are in violation of a drug testing policy. This is interesting because it's in direct dispute to what WWE's policy actually says. It states that it's applicable and binding to all WWE talent under contract to WWE who regularly perform in-ring services as a professional sports entertainer. Now, two key examples of developmental talent being suspended for a violation without it being made publicly would be Adam Rose and Connor of The Ascension. They were both suspended in 2016 for the second violations of the wellness policy, their first suspensions for violations being in 2013 for Adam Rose and 2006 for Connor, respectively. Now, obviously, it's a big bit of information that could be construed a number of ways, and a lot of people are going to probably just jump straight on it and be all like, oh, they're covering up for steroids and performance-enhancing drugs, and they're, WWE can't really afford to be doing that. They're a publicly trading company. I don't think they'd be stupid enough to be, purposefully sweeping things under the rug when they've got so much to lose, especially after the scrutiny the company's been through over the years. You think of like the steroid trial in the 90s, the Benoit situation, that all eyes were on the company. I don't think they would ever let something like that happen again. I personally think it's more along the lines of WWE giving their developmental talent sort of a chance to make a mistake before they get to the main roster. Obviously, if you still get your 3 strikes, you're out. But if they can make a mistake at developmental and it's not publicly reported and they're not dragged through this sort of huge public rigmarole, I don't think it affects them as badly. They have to learn that their actions have consequences as part of the developmental territory, and I think that might just be why it's not being reported, to be honest. But as it stands, it is sort of a double-edged sword, because while WWE may be doing it to protect talent, it is in direct violation of the policy that's sort of become a cornerstone of their company over the past sort of 10 years or so. They've either got to sort of publicly own up to what they're doing, or they have to change the policy in order to fit around that. Do you think that suspended NXT talent should be subject to full public outing, or do you think it's better to give them that sort of chance to make a mistake? Let us know in the comments below. And finally, reports are suggesting that the reason WWE is jumping back to dual-branded pay-per-views is poor live event sales. People tweeting out pictures from inside this week's SmackDown Live have certainly shown us that the arena was about half empty. They herded lots of people over on the hard cam side in order to sort of make it feel a little bit more full. It's not necessarily a bad thing though, the jump back to dual-branded pay-per-views, because it means overall, unless they make them 9 hours long, it means overall that there's less match time for each brand, so that means that the weekly shows are probably gonna have to step up big time. So I think we're gonna see a lot stronger weekly television in comparison to how it is now, where there's a singular branded show every month. Either way, it'll be really exciting to see what WWE are going to do, because obviously they're going to want to fill those seats and they're going to want to get all those network buys, and they're going to really want to push this new dual brand thing. So I think it can only be a positive thing. And that's it for today's news update. I've been Sam from Cultaholic.com. You can follow me on Twitter at LessDefined. If you like what we do, check out our Patreon. There are a system of tiered rewards, and anything you can give will be greatly appreciated. And finally, don't ever forget to join us.